Hey team! Whoa, my voice is just awful. Hey team! Ooh. Okay, let's try this again. It's a little bit better. So even though I sound terrible, I'm totally fine. I've been tested now 3 times for coronavirus in 3 weeks. Just a cold. My name's Lara, and if you're new to the channel, I just want to say, hey, welcome. This channel is all about productive and purposeful living. We talk a lot about simple living here, a lot about intentionalism, a lot about minimalism. So if that sounds like your jam, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell, comment, all of that YouTube, etc.-ness, because that really helps me grow my channel. So many actually think that minimalists and minimalism means that you don't buy anything, and that simply isn't true. Minimalists do buy stuff. It's just that the equivalent of our shopping might be like 4 months of shopping might equal 2 weeks of shopping for somebody else. The only difference is we think a little bit more about what we require and what comes into our home. We really try and be intentional with the stuff that comes in. So today I am showing you everything that I have purchased this year. So everything that I have purchased in the last 4 months. And the majority of it can fit into this bag. So without further ado, let's just hop to it. All of this can pretty much be captured into like 3 or 4 shops. So the first one, I went to one of my favorite places in the entire world to shop, which is called Vend Marketplace. It's kind of a big warehouse space with lots of very small stalls dedicated to local vendors, local businesses, arts, crafts, artists, and it really is such a wonderful place to shop. It's kind of one of the few places honestly, that I do shop, and the majority of my presents come from there. So speaking of presents, if my sister Tani is watching, please skip ahead at least a minute, because this is the point where I'm going to show what I bought my sister for her birthday this year, and her birthday is not till June. So as I went in and was searching around for other things, I discovered the perfect gift for her, which is a wonderful handmade apron. So this is possibly one of the most adorable things I have ever seen, because at the moment my sister is becoming a donut connoisseur. She is an excellent baker, a wonderful chef, and so I thought this would be perfect. But what I actually went into Vend to purchase was face masks. So I did end up purchasing 5 face masks in total, and that's because I am going on tour. So because I am working a lot, I'm away for a month, I figured I wanted to get more reusable masks. So I did end up purchasing 5, so that would be fun, beautiful, cute colors while I'm away. And I am going to try and keep up this mask thing even if you have something like a cold in the future, because I think it's really proven that you can stop the spread of a lot of really common illnesses if you just wash your hands and wear a mask. And also while at Vend, I purchased something that's been on my to-buy list for a long time, but I haven't actually gotten around to purchasing. So this is something that I've always wanted because my old set of bandanas was getting pretty rough, and I don't really wear them anymore because of it. So I purchased new sets. And the reason that I wanted ones like this is because they have wire in them, so you can really easily twist them into place. So I got a couple of different patterns of those as well, so that I can try and do some very simple dressing up and dressing down of my capsule wardrobe. So next is my shopping haul of clothing. I have a capsule wardrobe, which means I don't really buy clothing that much. However, it also means that I'm trying to be very intentional with the pieces of clothing that I do have that I do buy. And there are a couple of pieces that I've wanted to replace for a while, but have kind of gone, you know what, they're fine for the minute. If I happen to find something great, if not, whatever. So I purchased a little black dress not too long ago, but I discovered that I wore it out once and it made me feel not very confident. It made me feel like big and bulky. So I was like, you know what, no, let's replace that. So now I got something more slim fitting, all glittery and fun. I also have a white jumper which I adore, which my mother keeps telling me looks terrible because it is starting to pull at threads and pill. But luckily, I found a nice new white jumper. And this one's really cute, just as soft and warm, but it's got like little pearl kind of bits in it. Very cozy. So nice, another replacement for my old falling apart piece. Next, earlier in the year, late last year, I bought a jumpsuit, a red jumpsuit, but I quickly discovered that the fit just wasn't quite right. So I got myself a replacement that makes me feel comfortable and confident. More in a colour and in a pattern scheme that I am accustomed to, and it just means that I'm going to wear it a lot more. I did notice that I was pretty much stopping wearing my other one because I felt so self-conscious when I wore it. And I've tried to make a decision that if there's something that I feel self-conscious in my wardrobe, it gets packed away or it gets replaced. Because I'm never going to wear it, and if I am, I'm going to be thinking about what I look like the whole night, which is no good. So next up, I got a pair of green pants to replace my old green pants. So I discovered pretty quickly that my old green pants were starting to get very tight around the middle, and they were kind of making me feel very nauseous when I wore them, which is no good. No pants should make you feel nauseous when you wear them. So lucky last on that clothing op shop trip, which I'm not sure if I mentioned, this entire shop was thrifted. So I went op shopping with friends of mine and I just happened to find all the right stuff that I needed. This one, however, was not a replacement, just something that I have always liked the idea of, tried it on, over my outfit, really liked. So it's just a plain denim cotton blend overshirt. Living in the climate that I live in, I noticed pretty quickly that you don't really necessarily want a jumper a lot when it's warm weather. You just kind of want to chuck something on and chuck something off. When it is hot, however, you do want something that's kind of like sun safe, because the sunshine here in Australia is a little different than the sunshine in the Northern Hemisphere. The sunshine here is pretty bitey. So having a little overcoat that you can chuck on a particularly sunny day is also very, very good. So that's all the stuff in my bag of joy. However, that is not the end of my things I've bought this year trips. I also have done a trip or two to Bunnings. So this I wanted to include purely because, one, it's cute, it's a thing we purchased, but it was actually my husband's idea. We, for a long time, had Kobe's food bowls just sitting like on the floor and they were accumulating grossness. He had this idea to make like a little garden bed for his bowls to sit in. It looks cute. We have more plants in the house, which I'm always a big advocate for, and it's less likely to accumulate dirt and gross. We purchased soil, we purchased the container, we purchased the bowls to sit in, and now he has this beautiful plants feeding area. Yes, our dog is a bit spoiled, but that's okay. So what I actually went into Bunnings for intentionally on that trip were plant pots. I like to put a lot of plants around a house. It's one of the things that I tend to purchase a lot of because I think greenery in your space can be really, really good for your mental health. I wanted to purchase some white pots purely for the top of our shelving. So then they blend a little bit more into the wall and it doesn't look as cluttered in our house. So having the white pots there in a small space means that it just doesn't look like there is so much stuff all over the place. The last thing I purchased on that same Bunnings trip was an organizer. So it's actually an arts and crafts organizer, but I use it for my earrings. I used to have all of my earrings just in tubs. So I got this purely because it's easier to see my earring collection if it's laid out like that. I was noticing that I was just using the same pairs that were at the top over and over again, out of convenience, not out of love. So getting an earring organizer means that I can see all of them really quickly and I can select the things that I want. It also means that I can go through and declutter easily because I know that this is the amount that I have that fits into this organizer. If a pair comes in, a pair's gotta go. So lucky last, the absolute last thing that I purchased was a new diary and a new planner. It's called the Evo Planner. So far, so good. I don't use all of the columns for what they're necessary for, but I figured it's always a good way to investigate a new system and see what's what. So as you can see, minimalism really doesn't mean that you don't shop or buy things ever again. It just means that you think about the stuff that you buy, you replace a lot of things, you make life a little bit simpler and a little bit easier for you. And sometimes it also means that you replace some stuff, like Kobe's dog bowls, with something a little bit more stylish and suited to your house. So if all the stuff we've covered today sounds like stuff you're interested in, hi buddy! If you feel like hearing more about minimalism, about simple living, then feel free to subscribe to keep in touch, and otherwise I will see you in the next one. There are new videos every week. Peace.